Hello everyone, I'm Phoenix Tremayne. Today we're going to talk about Greg Vaughan and the real reason why he left Days of Our Lives. He goes into great detail about why he was unhappy on the show. And we're going to talk about that. But first, if you haven't done so, please take a minute to subscribe. If you have subscribed, thank you very much. I really do appreciate it. So I also need you to hit that like button, because every time you hit that like button, it lets YouTube know this is a good video for soap fans so they can join our soap fam. Speaking of joining, if you want to become a member, if you are a member, you've already seen this video because they got early access to videos. So they saw this yesterday, 24 hours in advance for this particular video. And some videos is a week in advance. But that's one of the benefits of being a member, as well as exclusive real talk videos where I talk about things I can't say on YouTube. On YouTube, the regular version, I will be able to talk with my members exclusively. So that's just a good perk if you want to become a member. But also, I have merch now, Soap Fan merch. So you can click the store tab on my channel, or you can go to the link in the description box and check out the merch that I've created for you guys. And even just let me know what you like it, if you like it. So I designed it myself, and I can't wait to get your reaction. And as far as members go, last thing, I want to thank Gwen Marie, Samantha Greenrich, Megan Maloney for being members of Soap Fam for the membership, as well as Penny Wiseman and Yvonne Todd. So these two just became new members, and I didn't get to mention them in the last videos, so I wanted to make sure I mentioned Penny Wiseman and Yvonne Todd, along with the other members that have recently joined Soap Fam's membership. Now we're going to talk about Greg Vaughan, so hold tight, because here comes the video. So this is from Soap Opera Digest. If you want to see the entire interview, it's in this week's Soap Opera Digest. I'm only going to do the bullet points of when he talked about why he left Days of Our Lives, to give you a broader idea of what was going on in his head, because he's been wanting to lead the show since 2017. So, Soap Opera Digest says, when did you first start thinking about leaving the show? He says, I originally started thinking about leaving the show after the first year I returned to the show. So around 2017. When they let me go in 2016, they wanted to just sit Eric for a bit. They didn't know for how long, but they just wanted to take him off the canvas. Over the course of those last 13 weeks, they put him in a direction and sent him to prison. And then after people were disappointed, they weren't happy, I think because the scenes that they never really delivered on, which was why they brought Eric back on the canvas, was for a reunion of Eric and Nicole. I mean, that has been a long threaded of history, a super couple that never really blossomed. And then we're going to skip the Queen Sugar stuff. And when he gets to his mindset when it came to being Eric, he says, I thought that having the ability to share my thoughts or my take on where Eric should go with Ron, communication was going to happen. And a lot of things that were said to me or promised to me never came into fruition. I just slowly thought about it, and that time you put your hope and faith in people. And understandably, you're there to do a job. There's a lot of pressure from every angle. It was about the show. It was about the vision. It was about the renewal. So I kind of played it out. I didn't want to experience the same thing, having a job and then being fired. I made sure within my contract that I had the option to do other things. I was doing 1-year contracts and re-upping if I wanted to. After the first year and nothing really shaped up, and midway through my second year, I knew right then and there that I was not going to continue very much longer. I had 2 movies in line. I had a Hallmark opportunity and then a reoccurring for MacGyver in Atlanta. That would have been right when I made my decision when fiance Angie Harmon were in South Carolina. We were buying this little vacation home together. I didn't feel like all of the things that were being told to me were being delivered. I felt like a glorified extra in everybody else's storyline, and I never felt like Ari, who plays Nicole, and I were given a, hey, you're going to be our couple. So it was time. My deal was over, and that was it. They kept trying right to the very last day to keep me. Co-executive producer Albert Alar pulled me aside and said, 6 more months. Give me 6 more months. But the shape of the show, the direction of the show was kind of a little bit everywhere. The more and more I started to pull away, the more and more I felt that I wasn't connected anymore. I didn't feel that they had their eye on me in any way for me to grow. And then, so Barbara just mentions he won an Emmy during this time. He said he was considering leaving because he started considering leaving in 2017, and he won his Emmy in 2018. And Greg Vaughan says, that was a very special time for me in every way. When it got to the actual day of the Emmys, my story was just going nowhere. It was flatlining. You have such a good performance with your co-stars, and they have really heavy material. You have these short moments that last, and you try to really capture those moments. It was then and there that it was over. And then I had nothing. Accepting the Emmy for the work that I had did 8 months prior, that was amazing, but where I was at the time on the show, I was just like a fly on the wall. And then, we go to the next one where he mentions that he hasn't filmed since November 2019, and that's when they all went off contract, because it was in February that they were doing the renewals and they were trying to get everybody back on contract. But he had decided when they took everybody off contract in November, he was done. So, what else? Then he talks about how hard it was for him to walk away from the studio because it's been such a huge part of his journey. He moved to North Carolina, and they also asked him, will he be lucky on General Hospital? And he says that at the present time right now, I couldn't tell you if I would or if I would not do it. It would definitely be flattering if they asked. Then we go to, he's talking about Queen Sugar, some family stuff, any message to the fans. And then he just says, they've been with me through thick and thin, through so many roller coasters, rides. I love them. I can't speak to each and every person, but if I could, I would hug them, all of them, and tell them how much I appreciate and love their support over the last 25 years that I've been doing this. And then he goes into ending the article with talking about how much he loves Days of Our Lives. He's not going to say that he'll never return. They've left the door open for him. And he said one day if the time is right, he'll come back. So, unlike Kristen Alfonso, who said, I'm not coming back, I'm done, F you people, basically is what she's been saying in her interviews, like, don't even ask me about Days, I'm done. That's over with. She feels so disrespected that she's like, giving everybody the finger. But Greg, on the other hand, he's like, yeah, if the right opportunity came along, I might actually come back. So he's going to be doing Queen Sugar. They still haven't gone back in production yet. He talked about the different movie opportunities that he's had in the past. I'm sure he's seeking out more potential, maybe Hallmark movies or different things. He ventured out into MacGyver. So I think Greg Vaughan is going to see how he can, really do in Hollywood, especially since he's at the age where he's not considered old, but he's not a young man anymore. So, if things don't work out, like many a soap opera actor, they have returned home to their roots. And remember Steve Burton, when he left General Hospital, he said, I'm just going to go and be with my family, and we're all going to be just like enjoying life, and I'm not going to be doing anything right now. And then after his last scene, a week later, he was on Young and Restless. So far as we know, he might even be the new Lucky, because Lucky is supposed to be coming to General Hospital. All three actors that have played Lucky in the past are all available. So it's just a matter of which one they pick. Who they might even pick somebody new. You never know. But that was the interview. That was Greg basically saying since 2017 he has not felt happy on the show. He didn't feel like he got good storylines. He didn't think that Eric and Nicole, after all those years of them building them up, that they never really came together as a super couple. They weren't giving them, the good storylines. If you remember, they were having Nicole and Kristen and Brady storylines. What was Eric doing? So they had Eric and the whole Sarah thing. They didn't have any real connection. So he's had like little tidbits of meaty story with the baby turned out not to be his. Those were some good scenes. But for the most part, since Eric has come back, he hasn't really done a whole lot as far as like the whole span of like 3 years. He hasn't really done much on the show. He's just had these brief moments where they've given him a good storyline that didn't last very long, which is what he expressed in the article, that they even promised him storylines that just never came to be. And other soap actors have also said the same thing. They were promised storylines that never happened. General Hospital, Tamara Braun was told that Kim was going to be given all this brand new storyline. Instead, they made her crazy and kicked her off the show. So, yeah. So they promised these storylines, but they haven't come through. But the show clearly did not want to lose him, because he said to his last day on a set, they were still begging him to stay on the show. So it was his decision to leave. And, maybe if he said, I'll sign if you guarantee me a specific storyline, they could have kept him. But just like Christian, he was done. So that's it. That's basically what happened to Greg, how he felt. So as a fan, I want to ask you, how do you feel about the way he left? Do you think he did the right thing? Do you think that he should have stuck around now that Eric and Nicole are married? What could come from that? So, and he should be ending pretty soon, because other actors came back to film again in February to wrap up their stuff. They, to end in September. So I don't know what's going to happen to Eric, but pretty soon, something's going to happen. So Eric is about to be off the canvas. Don't know why, but yeah, it's about to happen. Thank you for watching. I'm Tremayne, and I will catch you in the next video.